Hey guys, Ryan with Cabinet Creations, one of our senior designers here. Today's video is going to be about creating a timeless kitchen. One of the first things that you have to decide when you're building your kitchen is, are you going to have a timeless kitchen? Or are you going to have a trendy kitchen? I would say the majority of folks do go with a timeless kitchen because they don't know what the future holds. They don't know if they're going to be in this home forever. When you're thinking timeless kitchens, you're thinking neutral tones. You're thinking whites, you're thinking off-whites, you're thinking beiges. You're thinking things that are gonna, stand the test of time. Trends come and go, your kitchen doesn't have to. So in this video, we're gonna go through some things that you can think about as you're designing, to where your kitchen will be a timeless kitchen. Section 1, colors and tones. They're gonna be neutrals, they're gonna be beiges, they're gonna be whites, they're gonna be off-whites. Try to stay away from too bright of colors on each end of the spectrum. You don't want to go too dark, you don't want to go too bright. Stay away from bright primary colors. Those might be trendy for a minute or two. You might see something on a Pinterest video, but it's probably not going to be something that's going to be in style in 10 years. So I know it's not, it's not very glamorous, but if you want a kitchen that's going to stand the test of time, whites, beiges, off-whites, neutral tones. Section 2, door style. There's many door styles to choose from. There's always new door styles coming out. When you're thinking timeless kitchen, think shaker door style or some variation of a shaker door style. If you start getting into the, they have reeded and beaded reeded and raised panel, and when you start getting into all these decorative type door styles, they might look great today, but you might find that they are dated in a few years. So door style wise, think shaker, simple shaker. It will look great forever, and it's always a good option. Section 3, countertops and backsplash. Again, I'm going to stick with the same kind of tones here. It's going to be neutral tones. It's going to be whites, off-whites, beiges, maybe a little bit of grays. But you don't want to go with anything too dramatic on your countertop or your backsplash. Now, I'd recommend going with some type of a stone, a quartz, a granite, a quartzite. Those are going to be stones that last forever. When you start getting into like the porcelains or the printed quartz, those are going to have more bold colors, veining, things that may or may not be in style in 10 years. But when you're thinking countertops, think simple patterns, maybe a little bit of veining, but nothing too much. No drastic color changes. And then same with your backsplash. It could be a full height backsplash that matches the countertop. It could be a simple subway tile. Try to stay away from crazy patterns and, again, things that may not be trendy in 10 years. Section 4, fixtures and hardware. Now, these are things here that you can change a little bit more easily as opposed to like your cabinets. You can't change your cabinets every other, year or so. But hardware, you can have a little bit more flexibility with hardware. But if you want to stay, timeless and safe, bronze, oil rub bronze, some brushed nickels, things like that. When you start getting into like matte blacks and, shiny silvers, those are things that may come and go. But you can get away with those because they're not as expensive, right? You can always change out your hardware. It takes you a weekend. So if it is something that you want to get a little crazy, the hardware is something that I'm not going to get too crazy about. It is something that gives you some variation. You can change your kitchen up relatively cheap. Section 5, function and flow. Designed for real life, not for Pinterest. Think functionality. Don't necessarily think about what it's going to look like. It's going to look great anyways. But sometimes if you make it look too great and you go too Pinteresty, all of a sudden you start losing some functionality. So definitely keep functionality top of mind. Again, if it's going to be that timeless kitchen, whether it's for you or for somebody else, a simple design that's tried and true is always going to be beneficial, as opposed to, if you're going off on the deep end here on a Pinterest rabbit hole, the next owner of that home may not like that type of kitchen. So keeping it simple is usually best. Section 6, flooring. Flooring is something that you don't want to do many times. You're going to do your floor once or twice, right? So you do want to keep that simple. Nothing too extravagant, no crazy lines or colors. You do want to keep those neutrals. Unfortunately, sometimes the timeless kitchens aren't necessarily fun and exciting, but they are something that you're going to walk into that kitchen and it's going to be a nice, very nice kitchen for years and years and years. So in closing, guys, if you want that timeless kitchen, Again, it's going to be, timeless colors. It's going to be the whites, the off-whites, the beiges, the simple patterns. Think functionality versus Pinterest. I think if you do those things, you will find that you have a beautiful kitchen that is also timeless. If you have any questions, give us a call, click the link below, send us a message. We'd be happy to help. Thanks, guys.